The government. We're here from the government. We're here to help you. No, they're not. They never are. I don't know if you can see there, I've got a load of gold I'm getting this morning. A tanker full of nitrogen. $387 a ton, I think it was. Don't hold me to that, I don't remember. I need it, I know that. Alright, dumping the last load of soybeans here at Purdue. One truck just pulled in. There's another truck going back around. He was just under the chute, so I don't know if he's overloaded or needs to get more. Somebody in southern Maryland has a little bit of money because there's the Beacom Auto Transport truck. I watch those auctions on television, and they don't sell cheap cars. So I can't keep up with this truck to figure out where it's going. It can go faster than I can. But more power to you if you can afford one of those cars. Okay, the truck is turning off here in Prince Frederick on Stokely Road. So somebody on Stokely Road has enough money to buy a Beacom car. This is just a pure shit show. On the southbound side there, traffic going into the base. I've already missed the first gate, but some kind of special security procedures they're practicing. You know, we can't keep Chinese balloons from our airspace, but we sure can keep people from going to work and getting to work on time. That's not a problem for our government to do. Thank God I don't work for the government, because there's no way I'd put up with that shit every morning. Well, I think they're doing it for a week, so it's just blocking up traffic, causing a real shit show. Okay, what I was trying to say here is that after 9 days of being on vacation, I came home to a nail in my tire. So yeah, that's not good. Yep, right there. What I think is a nail. So I need to plug this tire up. I think I was out of plugs, so I stopped at my local hardware store and got some plugs. So let's get this tire all plugged up here. It is March 8th, and you know, it's still a bit chilly. Of course, I'm used to the warmer weather. Our vacation took us down to the Caribbean. We first flew to San Juan. It was 80 degrees when we landed in San Juan. The next day we got on a cruise ship, went down to the ABC Islands, where it was also in the 80s all week long. Got back to San Juan and it was still 80, 83 degrees, thereabouts. And then we get home and it was 35 degrees, and it's been chilly all week. I think it has gotten up to about 50 degrees today, but it's still going down in the 30s at night. I believe February is going to end up being warmer than March. So far, March has been a little bit chilly, and I haven't gotten acclimated to this cold weather yet after spending the 9 days in the warm weather. Well. Oh, that looks like a screw, not a nail. it went in just, it's not that long, but it went in just enough to puncture because I can hear the air coming out of it. Son of a booger. All right, I think instead of a plug, I'm gonna try this liquid tube in this tire. Let's see if that will do the trick. Oh man, I think oh hell. This thing is making a mess. Apparently my pump is bad on here. That's not good. I got a damn mess here and I'm not even sure if I got any in there. There's still air coming out. Okay, I've got some water and cleaned this up to see what's going on, and I guess the seal around this plunger is bad because when I draw it up, that's not a problem, but it's when I push it back down, that's when there is I don't know if you can see it, but there's a ball right in here. So you draw it up, brings the liquid up through the hose, through the hole on the bottom, fills this tube up, and then as you start to push it down, that ball covers this hole up and then forces the liquid up through this tube and then out through this hose into the tire. Well, what is happening is once that ball seals the hole, as I'm pushing down, all the liquid is coming around this plunger here and coming out of the top and then coming out of the vent hole on the top of this. I guess I just have to get a new pump here, unfortunately. I have used this liquid tube before and I've had success with it, but that's not happening this time, so I guess I'm putting a plug in it. All right, there we go. Should not have taken that long or been that difficult. I lost my new pair of sunglasses. These are prescription sunglasses. Just got a new pair 6 or 8 months ago. I lost them on vacation. I didn't really lose them. I know exactly where they are. They're on the plane that brought my butt back from San Juan. They fell out of my bag that was under my seat. I'm almost sure that's what happened to them. I had them sitting in a case right in the top of my bag. The bag was under the seat in front of me. I think they fell out of the bag and I left them under the seat. So luckily I've got an old pair of sunglasses. I had the new prescription put in them, so all is good. There are some days you just need to stay on vacation. Maybe today was one of them. You know, yesterday I pulled this tractor out. It hadn't run for probably a month. It hesitated a little bit when it started, but it started up, no problem. This morning, it's about, what, 45 degrees? Come down to start it up so I can do some spraying. The darn thing won't start. So I've got the battery charger on it. I'll leave it on here half an hour or so. Let's see if that helps it. I just replaced the battery in this less than 2 years ago, but I've never been pleased. This tractor has always started slow. It's only got one battery in it. I just don't think it's enough for this tractor. There's too many electronics on this thing. I think that drain it. I don't know. I've never been pleased. It's never been a strong starting tractor right from the start. So I'm going to leave that on there, but that's okay because I've got an interesting morning coming up. I've got an interesting meeting coming up, shall I say. 2 days ago, my daughter got a call at the hardware store from someone at the Maryland State Highway Administration inquiring about signs on the property that we purchased that we plan to build our store on. I've got a billboard on there that has the posted permit sign on it from the state. Ever since I've bought the property, I've been trying to contact someone from the state to make sure this permit gets transferred in my name. I've never been successful in contacting anybody. Well, they're contacting me. The billboard is not the issue. It's the other smaller sign that we put on the property. I think it went up there last April. So it's been there almost a year, 11 months or so. And the sign simply says, if you want to place a sign on this property, call Ridge Hardware with our phone number on there. Been there for almost 11 months. My guess is someone has complained because now the State Highway Administration is saying, hey, that sign is not permitted. It's not allowed to be there. I'm trying to beautify the property. You know, we've put the flags up last year in Ridge. I've kept the 2 flags on my property there. You know, I've done some bush hogging and cleaning it up, trying to beautify it. It's one of the first places you see when you get to Ridge. But no, I guess somebody has called to complain about this sign because now the State Highway Administration is saying, nope, it can't be there. Now, granted, remember, a month before the election, State Highway Administration people came down and took up all the political signs. That sign was there then. That sign was not touched. Now, all of a sudden, that sign is a problem. So this woman from the State Highway Administration is driving down from Baltimore, 2-hour drive, to meet me this morning to go over the regulations for this sign. I'm anxious to see how that turns out. They've already started off on a wrong foot with me by pulling up those political signs last year, so we'll see how that goes. I'll try to hold my composure over this, but the government, we're here from the government, we're here to help you. No, they're not. They never are. So anyhow, in the meantime, apparently there are 2 sets of regulations I have to follow. One set for our county. Our county has a sign ordinance, 18 pages long. You have to apply to the county for a permit to put a sign on your property. But if your property is alongside a state highway, which this property is, then the county has to forward that to the state in order to get approval. It's a $20 permit every year to put a sign on your property. But the state has to approve it if it's along their highways. So I have submitted this application to the county. I did that as soon as I got the call from State Highway Administration. So the county, I guess, will submit this to the State Highway Administration. The hell of it is, the sign isn't an advertising sign. It's simply stating, if you want to put a sign on our property, call our number. And what that is for, it is not for businesses, it is for political signs and nonprofit organizations. Because of where this property is located, it's a great place to put signs for advertising your local fundraiser or your political affiliation, what office you're running for. And so that's why we put that up there, because people were just putting signs on this property without getting permission. And I didn't like that. We need to keep the sign behind the right-of-way, as we have found out. So that's why we placed that sign there. It's not for advertising purposes. So let's go deal with this government official and see how this turns out. Oh, great. Listen to this. Let me roll the window down. So when that tractor wouldn't start, I tried to jump it first with this truck. That didn't work. Well, now I get in this truck to start it, and listen. The starter has apparently gone bad. So did that have something to do with me trying to jump the tractor? I don't know. As I said, some days you just need to stay on vacation. So I've got another truck. Let's see if that one starts. I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Those are words we never want to hear. Let me go in here where the wind is not blowing. Let me get my notes out of the truck first. Okay, so I met with the Maryland State Highway Administration people. There were two women that came down to meet with me on the property concerning the signs that I have on the property. A lot of good information. It's not information that I wanted to hear. Well, lucky for me, my property is on a scenic byway. No, that's not lucky, because by being on a scenic byway, we fall into a completely different set of rules with this scenic byway as far as signs are concerned. So the sign that I have up that says, hey, if you want to place a sign here, call this number. That sign needs a permit. Actually, it cannot be where it is. There was another sign on the property when I purchased it that had fallen over. It was a 4x8 sign on the property. It had fallen over. It had been there for years, but it had a placard on it, a state permit placard on there. I called the owners up. I said, hey, look, this sign has fallen over. It's a little bit ratty and torn up. I said, it's in my way. I'm trying to clean the property up. So I gave the sign back to them, gave their permit placard back to them. Well, I guess once these signs that are on the property are removed, they can't go back, and I cannot get a permit for another sign to go on the property. So I need to keep what I already have there. So they have agreed that I can get a permit to replace that sign that had fallen over, that 4x8 sign, but it's got to be the same size on the same type of post. It was just a 4x4 post. It's got to be in the same position. Fill out the paperwork, apply. I have to fill out 3 applications, actually. I have to fill out an application with my county, pay a $20 fee to them if it's approved. The county forwards it, and I have to the state, and I have to fill out another application to the state to get the permit placard. Once the state approves it, I have to pay them $1. And then that's just for the sign. That doesn't include any advertising on the sign. In order for me to put any type of advertising on the sign, whether it's my advertising or another business advertising, I now have to apply for a outdoor advertising license. So I need a permit from the county, a permit from the state. That's just for the sign to go up. And then in order to put an advertisement on the sign, I now need an outdoor advertising license. That is free. For now, anyway, until our new governor gets a hold of all of this, and then he's going to change all the fees and jack them up, I'm sure. An outdoor advertising license. Wow. Okay. But I can change the wording on my other sign, something to the effect of, if you want to advertise your nonprofit organization's event here or something to that effect, then that sign is legal because now it is protected free speech. But as far as the way it is now, I think it's in a gray area, and they said the sign can't be there. So we're going to change the wording on that sign. It will stay there. We will apply for a permit for this other sign that was there. We'll figure out what we're going to do with advertising there. And then the billboard is a whole nother shit show. I'm not going into that today, but that's just a whole nother shit show there. We're from the government. We're here to help you. Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable. And I explained to them, so a scenic byway, I explained to them, I'm cleaning up this property. I know it's the first thing you see when you get to Ridge. I'm trying to make everything cleaner, nicer looking. I have some ideas for the billboard, but no, we have to fall under their guidelines and play by their rules, regardless of whether it makes everything look nice or not. This is just ridiculous. All right, back to my other problems, which is the tractor not starting and the starter in the truck not starting. So let's see if we can get these problems figured out. All right, something tells me I've got another issue. I may have to clean some wires because my voltage there is showing a weak battery. Ooh, that charging has gone down. Let's see what happens here. Well, it started. Okay. All right, I've got a new starter. Let's get it on the truck, see if that solves the issue. I think it will. Okay, the moment of truth. Got the starter on. Let's see if that solved the problem. Beautiful. Just in time too, because it has just started to rain. It really helped having that last video of that starter replacement. I was able to go back and review that video only for the wrenches that I needed to put that starter on. So I only had to crawl under the truck one time. I had all the wrenches I needed, took the starter off, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. So just to repeat, I needed the 10 millimeter for the battery terminal to disconnect the positive battery terminal. I needed, what was this? This was a 15 millimeter socket to take the 2 bolts off of the starter, the actual starter. And I just used a 3/8 ratchet, and then I had an extension to get to one of the bolts. And then the number 13 to disconnect the wire from the starter. And then the number 10 socket, which I can also use the number 10 wrench to take the heat shield off of the starter. So yeah, those tools there, that was handy. I was able to grab all of those, crawl under the truck one time, and get it done. I'm not going to bore you with my vacation video, but there is one clip that I am going to include here that you may find interesting. I found it interesting anyway. We were on the island of Bonaire. Yeah, is that how you say it? Bonaire? And we ran across a salt mining operation, although I'm not sure if it's called salt mining when there's no mines involved. It's the flats where they flood the area with seawater, I guess, and then let it dry out and then harvest. Is that the correct word? Harvest salt from there. Huge operation. It covered the lower end of the island. I enjoyed watching it. I probably spent 15 or 20 minutes just stopped on the side of the road to watch this. I'm sure my wife and daughter were not real pleased, but hey, it was vacation. I can do what I want. So I hope you enjoy this video. I thought it was pretty cool. So watch this clip. All right, it looks like, hey, you may not be able to hear me because of the wind, but this is a salt mining operation. guess this machine over here is skimming the top and putting salt on the trucks. And back behind this pile, there's a loader piling this salt up, I think. There's a grader out there in the middle. And then from here, there's some machines. I don't know what that contraption is. The green one over there, lots of piles, and then looks like they loaded on a ship, a barge or something, and haul it out of here. Alright, they've got back in line there, and I guess that truck is going to pull up underneath of there and get loaded with salt. Here comes another truck around the turn there. Okay, I guess that grader is putting it in windrows, and then that machine is coming along and picking it up and loading it on the trailers. They are piling it on those trailers too. Into the flats in order to get the salt. Well, does that mean that I can write the whole trip off now as a business expense because I saw some heavy equipment and had something to do with harvesting? No, I better not do that. IRS will come down hard on me. Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up. Just a hodgepodge of everything. I don't think I've got anything else to say, so I'm going to say see ya!